How many thousands of dollars have you left on the table because you were too tired to write up a change order request at the end of a long 12-hour day? In this video, I'll show you how to turn a simple voice note into a professional change order request in under 60 seconds using AI so you never work for free again. First, I'm going to run through a demo of the solution in action. And second, I'll show you how to build that solution so you can implement it in your business. Third, I'll run through why this is so important. And the fourth thing is how you can look at it from a workflow point of view so it fits exactly inside your business. This is just an example of how it can be used. The important way is having it so it matches how your business works. Now, let's jump into the demo. Cool, so now I've got my phone here and I'm using an app called JotForm to record the information. You can use whatever makes sense for you, whether that's WhatsApp, a phone call, or my own software called Traxt. You just need a way to capture the information. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out this form that I've created for submitting change order requests. So first, select the project, then the date is today, the change order request is for, and the reason for change. So this is whatever has popped up on site that you want to flag as a change order. I'm going to dictate it because it's easier. You could type it, whatever makes sense. So we were digging out near the halfway mark yesterday and hit something solid about 1.5 foot down. There's a concrete pad, looks like it's from an old shed. It wasn't on any drawings. We couldn't have seen it from the surface. And nobody told us about it. We couldn't have known about it. But either way, we've got to get it removed. So that's the reason for change. Description of the change. We need to break up the old concrete slab. It's about 15 by 20 foot. It's about 1 foot thick. We'll jackhammer it out, load it on a truck, and haul it to the dump. Then we've got to dig a little bit further down, put in some fresh gravel, get that tested and compacted before we carry on to paving over. That's the description and the schedule impact. I think it's going to take an extra 2 days to complete this. And then that's done. Now all I do is submit it. And what it's going to do now is take that to make.com. It's going to run through the steps and it should pop up in my inbox as a draft change order request that then I can click into, edit, and send off to wherever it needs to go. Now you can see it's popped up in my inbox. And if I click into that, you can see it was sent by me and it's got a draft change order at the bottom there. And it's also given me a justification as to why it thinks this is a valid change order because it knows the contract. And so if I click into this, you can see it's obviously a template that I've come up with very quickly. This could match whatever's in your business. And it's gone and made my gibberish that I was talking about in terms of what's happened. And it's created a structured report and it's using examples as a basis for that. And you can see I got to add a cost breakdown in there and apply the extra cost to the total sum, and then I can submit it. You could try and get AI to do the cost breakdown, and if it's very simple breakdown that you can talk through, it might be able to do that, but that's not really the best use case for AI in this instance because you want to make sure you absolutely get that cost breakdown right, and it's often trying to get the wording and the framing right that takes the most time with these change orders. So with that, how does it work is probably the question you've got, and then I'm going to jump into that now. So it's using a tool called make.com. And essentially this connects everything together so that you can get a repeatable, reliable process that works for you. I'm going to run through this quickly and then we'll go into why that's important. So you can see I've captured the JotForm. This is looking for new inputs that come in when a form is submitted. And once it is, it goes through to a Google Drive, and based on the project that I've got, it pulls out the contract for that specific project. So that's the context it needs in terms of giving you a good answer. And then we jump into the Gemini node here. This could be ChatGPT or Claude or whichever you prefer. I'm using Gemini and it has a master prompt that tells it what the output is needed and also feeds in the inputs, which is the information from the JotForm and also the contract. And it's prompted to spit out the answer in JSON, which is just a very simple programming language that then allows us to break it up into its sections so we can map that to the Google Docs. And that's what this one here does. Following that, we jump into creating a Google Doc from the template and saving it. So it's actually saved in the folder itself. And the final one I've added here is the email to notify me that the draft is ready and I can go in and edit that and submit it, or decide what is best, the next best step for this change order request. So just so you know, the template looks something like this, and you can see the points that need editing. I've got those double brackets so you can add it in and out. That's it in a nutshell. Now let's run through why this matters. Contractors leave about 5 to 10% of their revenue on the table every year because of undocumented changes. And on $1 million project, that's about $50,000 to $100,000. And it's not because the work didn't happen, it's just because it never got written up or recorded. And it's not due to laziness, it's the friction that exists about getting that documentation in. Because we all know what it's like on site when these clients on there and points to this and that and things change. The next minute, another issue pops up and you jump away and forget about that, but you've already instructed the crew to do it. So this is the beauty of the system, where it makes it easy to capture that at the time it happens so they don't get missed. And if you choose down the line not to pursue this as a change order request, well, then you have a great record of exactly where you have that give and take so that you can use that down the track should you need it. The reality is, when it comes to change orders as well, is that this work, if you wouldn't have otherwise charged for it, is pure profit. And so that 5 to 10% of a project budget can really have a huge impact on margin if you can capture just a small percentage of that. Now here's the thing, and this is really important. What I've showed you is one of 1,000 ways this could be implemented. Every construction company handles change order requests very differently and has their own workflow for it. So maybe you use Procore and want change orders to feed directly into that system, or maybe you want to capture it through something like WhatsApp or a phone call. There's a ton of ways to do it. Pretty much all of them are possible, as we're just connecting things together. The important thing is that the workflow I showed you is a starting point and not necessarily the answer. The real value isn't copying what I did, but it's understanding the principle and then building something that fits exactly how your business runs and your team likes to work. It's taking that workflow, deciding what's the best way to achieve that outcome, and then you can apply the automation in a way that makes sense for your business. And if you're watching this and thinking, man, I really want this, but I don't want the headache of building it myself, or I'm not sure where to start, that's exactly how we can help. There's a link in the description to book a call with me, and we can talk through whatever your needs are. And I'm going to be putting the template for this make.com scenario inside my school community, as well as the prompts that I use to get it there. So you can jump in, download that, and go through the resources log. There you have it. That's a snapshot of exactly how you can make getting information from site to the office super easy. And the technology exists now so that these don't need to be a massive headache in your day. And if you found this useful, hit subscribe. I'll be putting a ton more videos out just like this one, so you actually know where you can apply AI in your construction business. I'll see you on the next one.